Here are the corrections for the Chapter 1 closure. So for problem 162, it says write the coordinates of points A through F circled on the graph below in X, Y form. So A is at -5, +3. B is at +3, +4. C is at +2, -1. D is at +3, -5. E is at -3, -4. And F is at -2, +1. The next one wants us to graph the ordered pair. So I made it a little bit bigger so it'd be easier for us to graph and for you guys to see, and label it. It says find and label the points. So A is at 3, 2. I'm sorry, G. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So right here is G. It's right on that line. It's harder to do in the video. H is at 1, 4. So over 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there, that's H. I is at -2, -1. So we're going to go over 2 and down 1. Label it with I. J is at 4, -2. J is, and K is at -5, +1. That's where K is. Okay. The next problem says to find a variable and then write and solve an equation for the problem. Use the 5D process if needed. Show your work in an organized way. So I like to set up my problem using the 5D process. I think it's an easy way to see the equation, to then solve the equation. So I have my define section, my do, and my decide. So I know that when I read the problem, it says, Ralph and Alfonsi are shooting marbles. Ralph has 5 more marbles than Alfonsi, and they have a total of 73 marbles. How many does each of them have? So I know I have 2 people, and Ralph has more than Alfonsi. So Alfonsi's is going to be my X, and Ralph has 5 more, so he's going to be X plus 5. My do, I know I'm getting a total, so I'm going to add in my do section. So I'm going to do X plus 5. And I'm deciding if it ends up equaling 73. So my equation is going to equal 73. So when I go to solve that, I'm going to get 2x plus 5 equals 73. Subtract 5 from both sides. I get 2x equals 68. Divide by 2, x equals 34. So Alfonsi has 34 marbles, and Ralph has 34 plus 5, which is 39. So we'd write it in a sentence. So Alfonsi has 34 marbles, and Ralph has 39 marbles. The next problem wants us to make a stem and leaf plot. So we have a set of data. Our data goes all the way from in the 90s. The smallest number is 33. The biggest number is 100. So in our stem and leaf plot, we have 3 all the way to 10 as our stems. Next to the 3, I have a 33. It actually skips the 4 and the 5, but they still need to be listed. There's a 64, a 71, 3, 8, and 9, an 81, 2 81s, 2 83s, 2 85s, an 86, and an 88. 90, there is a 3, a 5, 2 7s, and a 9, and then there was 100. So then it says to go on to find the mean, the median, and the mode. So the mean, I added all the data together and divided by how many. So I got 82.55. The median, when I found the middle number, is 84. And there's actually 4 modes because there's 4 numbers that repeat twice. They're 81, 83, 85, and 97. So then it asked me to find the quartile 1 and quartile 3. So I put my data all in order, and I got 78.5 for my quartile 1 and 94 for my quartile 2. I also over here need to make sure I made a key for my stem and leaf, so I'm going to say C/3 equals 33. So then it tells me it would like me to make a box and whisker plot. So I started at 30 on my box and counted by tens till I got to 130. And then I put a plot about above, a little more close to 30 for 33. 1, so 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 1 kind of at the end of 70. 1 a little bit after the 80. 1 in the middle, kind of at the end. So this is 70, 80, 90. So kind of like right here. And then 1 at 100. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. There'd be a dot right at 100. Then I put my box around it and connect them. So it says, given this information, would you say the students did well in the exam? Explain. I would say they did pretty well. All the numbers, or most of the numbers, are between 70 and 90. Okay, so the big group of numbers are between 70 and 90. Okay, the next set of problems are a set of diamond problems. So they gave us our key over here in the corner. So remember, I am adding when I go across to get the bottom number, multiplying to get the top. So in part A, it gives me the bottom and the top. So I have to think about what number can I multiply together to get 8, but add together to get 6. And it turns out it's 4 and 2. So I would think about what numbers multiply together to 8. B is a straightforward one. I'm adding and multiplying. So negative 2 plus 6 is going to be 4. Make my a little bit thicker. It's going to be 4. And then negative 2 times 6 is going to be negative 12. The next one I have to think about what multiplies together, or I can think I'm going to do negative 28 divided by 4, which is negative 7. And then add 4 plus negative 7 is negative 3. On D, I have to subtract to figure it out, or think about what number adds. So to subtract, I would do negative 4 minus negative 1, which is really negative 4 plus 1, or negative 3. And then multiply, I would get a positive 3. For E, I'm going to multiply. When I multiply 3.25 times 4, I get 13. When I add, I get 7.25. And then F, I got to think about what numbers multiply together to get 24, and then could add to get 11. So I know they both have to be negative, because that's the only way to add and get a negative, and also multiply and get a positive. So I think, okay, things to multiply to be 24. Negative 1 and negative 24 would work. But they don't equal negative 11, they equal negative 25. I could try negative 2, negative 12. That equals negative or positive 24, but that equals negative 13. I could try negative 3 and negative 8. That actually works. So my answers are negative 3 and negative 8. The next set of problems is a figure where we had to figure out what figure 1 was, what figure 5 was. So figure 1, when I draw it out, is actually 3 of my boxes and then 2 of my boxes next to each other. Then figure 5, when I figure it out, is actually 10 going across the bottom and then on the 5th one, there's 2 going up, and then there's 1 more row going across. Okay. So then it asked me how many tiles are in each figure. In figure 1 there are 5 tiles, figure 2 8, figure 3 11, figure 4 14, and figure 5 17. So describe how the pattern is changing. I said we're adding 3 tiles each time. How many tiles are in the 6? Turns out it's 20 because I would just add 3 more to 17. And in the 10th, it's 32. Okay, the last problem wants to write a story, and I wrote a short story. It says Zeke has 30 miles from his aunt's house. Zelda is riding his bike home from her house. Interpret the graph to tell a story about what could have happened on his ride home. So I said Zeke started out riding constant and then stopped for water. Okay, and then continued at a constant speed and then stopped when he got home.